That's unbelievable. An admission.
That is obviously not what I said. Okay, guys, we can do this on the panel. The 20 cameras at once leaning in, asking. No, 1, 2, 3,
This is
5, 6.
This is called sunlight. How does it feel?
It's not called sunlight.
It's called ambushing. Ambushing, especially scumbaggy when it's right before a debate. You know, you might even be able to pass off after the fact that this was something that you really wanted to get Ben Burgis on, or you just wanted to talk to him about. But to do this right before the debate, it's cowardice. It's 100% cowardice. It's like, all right, yeah, we really, threw the rug pull from underneath him, and now he's going to be real irrational on stage. Great stuff. Great stuff. So, I don't know if y'all heard this, but apparently Ben Burgis has been Veritased, Project Veritased, to be completely transparent here. James O'Keefe, you may remember, the guy who's doing a musical about his life and how amazing he is, and also has been a complete huckster throughout the entirety of his career. Multiple instances of just straight up scams. Yeah, he's got this thing where he's not really a good faith honest actor, and I don't think anyone really needs to interact with him in any good faith way. What I would have done if I was about to go on stage with a James O'Keefe, or even have an interaction with a James O'Keefe, is you need to have a little set of things that you can gotcha him with, because he's going to gotcha you. That's what he does. He's a gotcha scam artist. So he's going to come out and then ambush you and then run right up to you and be like, hey, what about this one time this thing happened? I've got another thing. And so then at that point you have to be like, well, can you address this? Because I've got a whole bunch of receipts here as well. How about this video footage, you know? Because, I mean, the rap sheet is pretty monstrous of this dude being a complete and utter grifter.
What did I lie about?
I just said it twice, but I'll say it a third time.
I'll release the... What did I lie about?
I just said it twice, but I'll say it a third time.
Release the full raw video tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm sure you...
What is with the lighting at this event? Everyone looks like they've been Caleb mopping to the extreme. Like, I know they're not all dark red in the face, but what is going on? Do they have a red light shining on all of them?
I will be fascinated. I will be fascinated to see if it's actually the full video.
Hey, Ben. James.
Hey.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
How you doing? Are you excited for the panel?
I am, yeah.
Hey, this one clip here of
Oh my
you
God.
talking about the Teachers Gone Wild video.
Yep.
Remember this?
Yep.
He's such a sleazebag. Hi, Ben. Nice to see ya. All right, just get over here. Cameraman, you got this ready? Okay, now here we go. Get ready. You're about to get Veritased.
You talk about the video games laughing on their dime.
Yep.
Union officials, remember this? Right? Laughing while playing video games. And then you kind of mocked that because it was like, what's the point of that? And like, I kind of agree with it if that was the only thing that the video showed. But 10 seconds later, in that very video.
By the way, this was right before they went on stage to have a debate. This literally right before they went on stage to have a debate. He did this. Like, this is not a good faith person in any way, shape, or form. It's like, it'd be one thing even if this was a whole like setup and a gotcha, then we're going to do this later on in the day, but this is clearly right before, so that you're probably going to be the only lefty on the panel who's going to come across as like incredibly unhinged. Like, oh, look at Ben Burgis getting all big mad, even though we've just been exposing him for the truth and lies that he's been espousing this entire time.
Yeah, which you cut from was the woman talking about...
Like, it's so cowardly.
Using an... She says the N-word to a student, right? 10 seconds later. Right?
Yeah. So I am glad to know that you have that you've had this moral epiphany about selective editing.
Just so you know, I showed him the clip. I found the clip, and I was just kind of wondering. I saw that you were a professor from Morehouse, an adjunct professor.
Wow, you've even got backup. James O'Keefe, 2-on-1.
And I was just curious how you thought that a teacher saying the N-word. Or were you saying it's okay for New Jersey black students to be called the N-word by a union official?
Yeah, so I think that you're not actually wondering that. I think that you're a very dishonest person if you're pretending to wonder about that. I think that the function of a union, one of the functions of a union, is to provide people with representation and the best defense possible they can get in the context of a disciplinary proceeding, the same way that a lawyer would provide you with representation and the best defense possible.
Why did you edit the tape to exclude the N-word mentioned by the union official?
Yeah, the tape is like half an hour. The idea that I'm editing it because I'm showing in that clip that I'm showing, what am I doing? I'm showing that you are including all of this stuff that, you guys decide to put that in the video. You probably had hundreds of hours of footage.
She was just.
No, I'm sorry.
What are you sorry about?
That is my polite mid.
You see? Like, it's so dishonest. This is not like, this whole thing is set up in one way and one way alone, to try and make Ben now look as ridiculous as possible in public. And obviously, the more ridiculous you try to make him and the more incendiary you make it, the more response you're going to get out of a person, So obviously, at a certain point, the person's going to be like, "Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to talk to this. I refuse to speak to you." And then at that point, it can be like, "They refuse to speak to us, of course, because once again, Project Veritas was able to do what the mainstream, the lamestream media would not: expose them for their lies. It's now on the record."
Western way of saying "don't interrupt me." So they have a. So you are the one who chose to include that in the video, right? You probably had hundreds of hours of footage.
The teacher calling a student the N-word.
Yeah,
And you said that. I'm sorry.
I know this is what you do, this ambush gotcha stuff, but what I'd like.
See, right there. And they've already got what they needed. Now it's like, well, and look, he's not even answering the questions anymore. Now he's getting flustered and clearly is becoming irate because we got him. We called him out.
You to do.
I showed the clip to my boss.
Instead of asking silly ass leading questions, what I would like you to do is explain to me, right, in context, why is it that you think that particular should have been shown, and in particular, what do you think should happen if that happens? Do you not think that people should get representation from unions when they face disciplinary consequences?
That clip showed that they did get. That clip showed. I'm sorry. If I can say something, sir. No, sir.
No. We'll talk about this on the panel.
Why did you edit the tape? Why did you doctor the tape? Why did you doctor it? Do you think that a union official should call a student the N-word? Why are you laughing about the N-word?
Well, I'm not.
Boom, boom, boom. He doesn't care. By the way, he doesn't care about the truth. He doesn't care about he cares about getting as many moments on camera, rapid fire as possible.
Laughing at the N-word.
Yes, you are laughing.
I'm not laughing.
You're also shaking.
I'm not laughing at the N-word. You're a liar.
You think this is a lie because Lissa Ploshnik was suspended in New
And boom, they got everything they wanted.
Jersey. It made the front page of the Star Ledger, and you doctored that out. You edited the. You didn't include it. It was 10 seconds.
It's so incredibly scummy. What I would have said on Ben Burgess's behalf before going into this is, like, this is 100% a case of, like, if I go and try to debate a leopard, why did that leopard try to eat my face off? This is 100% what he does. He doesn't want to go there to have an intellectual discussion with someone who has maybe some ideological differences to find out where they meet in the center or anything like that. His entire grift is exposing the libs, exposing the left for all their lies.
Seconds after the tape, and you doctored.
Seconds after that, and 10 seconds after that. The idea that that's doctoring is.
Why isn't there a left-wing version of Veritas? There's left-wing versions of this, but they are very transparent about saying that they're comedians or jokesters. That's the huge difference. If you took a dude like Walter Masterson who goes to gun rallies and then at the gun rallies pretends to be a teacher and then in service of being a teacher does this little skit where he goes to gun enthusiasts and says, "Hey, by the way, I want to start defending my students. I'm a teacher. What's the most intense weaponry can you sell me? Can you give me maybe a bazooka? Do you have grenades I could bring to the classroom? I just want to get in there and I want to really be able to defend my students. So it'd be great if I could have just a massive arsenal of weapons." And then the people at the gun show are like, "Oh, hell yeah. All right, so here's the kind of things I can get. I can get you the sniper rifle. I can get you this kind of shit." Like, yeah, you are doing the exact same thing James O'Keefe would be doing. The difference is at the end of it, you come out and you're like, well, that was a funny sketch. Because, again, I'm a comedian, and this is a sketch, and I set them up, and it was a gotcha. It's not journalism. I wasn't doing that. Was a routine. I was pretending to be someone I'm not. And in service of pretending to be someone I'm not, I got them to say some silly shit in the process. You could say that Sacha Baron Cohen does the same thing, right? But they're very transparent about what this fucking scumbag thinks that he is doing journalism. It's a journalism right now. By doing these gotchas, getting reactions out of people, and of course, or catfishing people, or just straight up lying about what he does, and then after the fact being like, and that's how we got them. And that's why you got to support me in Project Veritas, to be able to get this kind of journalism and reporting out into the real world.
The generous way you can put that is very confused. Now,
Do you care that the teacher called a student the N-word and is still teaching? Do you care about that? Do you think that's okay?
And by the way, this is a point where me and Ben have obviously butted head quite a bit. Not specifically on the use of the N-word, but specifically on the use. He doesn't feel that language really accounts to violence in these kind of situations, or that the freedom of speech for one person can really be silencing the freedom of speech of other people. I've spoken to him about this in length. We've debated this exact topic when it comes to cancel culture, and me specifically trying to talk about. He'll bring up something called conscious intent, and if someone doesn't have conscious intent, such as, and this is not this example, this is a separate one, such as a white person saying the N-word because they're singing along to a song or something like that, that's not the same thing as a white person going up to a black person and calling them the N-word. You have to understand the difference. And I was like, I do, but you also have to understand that there is certainly, and this has been proven throughout history, something about normalization of certain forms of bigotry or racism. We can go to Godwin's law and point towards the way that Jewish people were characterized very heavily as being either rats or cockroaches or vermin and stuff like that. There were people in society, broadly speaking, at that period of time who may not be racist towards Jewish people, but of course would go along with saying things like anti-Semitic tropes or stuff like that because it was very heavily normalized within Germany. And at that time, it was during when people were trying to vilify that specific group. So the enforcement of that, the normalization of that, can be problematic. And even if people don't have a conscious intent in trying to enforce very hardcore racist stereotypes, they just be like, hey, I just say it in private, I just say it as a joke, I just want to do that. You also have to acknowledge how that stuff can contribute, broadly speaking, to a greater societal problem. All that being said, in this specific incident, this is a case of a teacher who has said the N-word in front of students or to a student, and then Ben, I guess, is talking about the protectionism that the union should provide, even in the case something as extreme as this, but then didn't put that edit, I guess, in his original videos, is as much as I can gather from the ambush.
Hey,
what do you think should happen?
I'm asking you, do you think it's okay?
Are we going to have a discussion here?
I want to know the name of this teacher who called the student the N-word, don't you?
No.
You don't care. Wow. You don't care
Even the
that
sound
a
effects.
teacher calls a student the N-word. That's unbelievable. An admission.
That is obviously not what I said. Okay, guys. We can do this on the panel. The 20 cameras at once leaning in, asking. No, 1, 2, 3,
This is
5, 6.
This is called sunlight. How does it feel?
It's not called sunlight.
It's called ambushing, especially scumbaggy when it's right before a debate. You know, you might even be able to pass off after the fact that this was something that you really wanted to get Ben Burgis on, or you just wanted to talk to him about. But to do this right before the debate, it's cowardice. It's 100% cowardice. It's like, all right, yeah, we really, threw the rug pull from underneath him, and now he's going to be real irrational on stage. Great stuff. Great stuff.
Call.
What it's called,
Yeah, it's TMZ.
is sleazy clickbaiting.
Calling a student the N-word.
That has absolutely nothing to do with a real discussion over
Let's
what.
have a real discussion. We're having a real discussion.
Have a real discussion on the panel, James. Thank you for confirming.
The N-word, you heard it there.
You heard it there, folks. Project Veritas has exposed Ben Burgis once again. We knew it was going to be possible. Absolutely destroyed him in the marketplace of ideas. But yeah, that sucks. That's unfortunate. But it's exactly what Project Veritas does. If you were entering a room and you know James O'Keefe is going to be there, you should also assume that he's going to use dirty tactics, lie, and manipulate the situation for his own advantage, show up there with the crew, and do exactly what he did to Ben. Like it's one of those, like, you know, leopards things. Like, yeah, what a surprise. I went to have a good-spirited, well-meaning debate with a bunch of leopards, and they started eating my face.
I was watching a series of videos that Mr. James O'Keefe here did. What is he doing? Is he sending in his little hidden cameras to CEOs, generals talking about drone strikes? No. He did this series called New Jersey Teachers Unions Gone Wild. He's surveilling ordinary working class people. He's asking union officials, oh, would you defend me if I did this? Would you defend me if I did that? Which is like asking a lawyer, would you defend me if I was accused of murder? Yes, that's what a lawyer is. And it's a good thing. You can't be in prison arbitrarily. It's a good thing. You can't be fired arbitrarily. In one of these videos, He's talking about a teacher who was accused of saying the N-word. They didn't completely lose their job. He was taking this as, oh, see, unions think it's okay to say the N-word, which is obviously asinine. Thinking that somebody's career shouldn't be ended over doing a bad thing is not the same as saying the bad thing is bad. But then again, James is a liar, so that is in character.
Muted again? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to mute. That was really good. Yeah, this is pretty much laying out the entire thing for what it is. That's 100% it. And it's the same thing with all those people, by the way, not just James O'Keefe, but all the people now, especially right-wing populists, who are trying to do this thing where they talk consistently about how they want to speak truth to power, they want to call out the elites, they want to call out the people who are disenfranchising you. They don't give a fuck. They want to target working-class people who have views that are not congruent with their own, views that are in opposition to their own, views that scare them. So if we want to attack unions and they want to lower the rights of workers globally, well, then they're going to go after unions in this way. Hey, here's an example of a union that didn't fire a teacher even though the teacher said the N-word. Now, that is something that we can all agree is abhorrent, right? So what does this say about unions? What does it say about representation in the workplace? Maybe we should just leave things to the bosses to do whatever they want and call all their employees the N-word without fear of reprisal. I mean, just look at the conditions of black workers at Tesla and what goes on there. No unions present. Seems like a fucking obscenely racist place. But hey, let's keep trying to use this as a way of attacking people for this.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Just, we are prepared to embark on a mighty jihad in your name. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your humble jester, attempting in vain to get you to laugh. To our valiant knights of the Round Table, Benji Arnie, Tech Tink, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Mayred, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood. It doesn't matter what I believe, it only matters what I can prove. Egbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Daniel Sutton, Coulter Smith, Jenna Tao, Quiet 185, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, The Tim Caucus, Multimondi, Trevbot, EXE, Brian Ephraim, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojack, Saren 42, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Agent NDN, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We raise our mugs and salute our brave heroes off to another glorious conquest.